Yo, what's going on?
What's good, man?
For the people checking in, this is Ron J, half of TNJ.
William A. Thomas here in the building. What's good?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh man, we got a good show for you today, man. We're really excited about this show. But first, we have a little what you call ritual. We usually ask how the families are doing, how we were doing, in the past week. So, how was your week, man?
Oh man, I'm up here in Pittsburgh. I'm just mad. I had to make a big change. One of the biggest changes of the year. Had to turn the heat on.
When'd you do that?
As far as I know, yesterday, but who knows? My wife could turn
Yesterday.
it on secretly and had it on a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago.
Man, look, let me tell you something. I had my stuff on for like 2 weeks.
How you turn the heat on in 60-degree weather?
Nah, man. See, we get 4 seasons down here. People don't know that. It's cold at night, man. Be cold. But then during the day we got to turn the air on.
So y'all seasons are extremely hot, hot, a little hot, and then warm. Gotcha.
Cold. Well, go ahead. It's cold, man. Look, right now it's like let me check the thing. Let me tell you, it's cold, man. I got shorts on though, but what's the weather? Let me see. 61 degrees, man. Ain't that cold?
Man, it is 37 up here.
Ugh. Oh my God. I don't know, man. I don't know about that, man. I don't think I'm gonna go back there to see my mama. Sorry. Can't go see my mama.
Said
Too cold.
I ain't coming home for Christmas, huh?
No, she's gonna have to come here. Oh man, it's a good show, man. But how was your week, man? How was your weekend? How was you know uh football? I know you go to a lot of high school football games. How was everything going on with that?
Oh man, it's going well. Everything's just kind of shifting, shifting from regular season moving on into the playoffs. So they already get the pairings together. So it's going to be an interesting time. But going on, every week that they go on through the playoffs, it get colder and colder.
Okay. Yeah, I remember going to football games down there. I used to go to a lot of high school games. Man, and a couple of my people I knew that went to school close to Penn State. For anybody who's out of Pittsburgh, man, and it was freezing. You had to come prepared, man. I'm talking about you got to have the little cushion, the seat cushion, the feet warmers, hand warmers. Man, I can't believe I did it. I couldn't do that now. I could not do that. Thank goodness my kids do not play football.
I wonder why they call that Happy Valley, man. Because I'd be pretty sad if I was up there in that cold air.
Man, imagine playing a night game in that, man. I remember I went to a Willing Hills game when they won the championship in like 99, 2000 ish. It was 99, man. It was cold, man. And then I remember we won the championship. Shout out to Willing Hills. Yeah.
All right.
Won the championship. And then I just remember I made a huge mistake. I ran on the field. I was young then, but I ran on the field. And then I realized I messed up because all the dudes with the helmets and stuff and cleats was stepping on me. I ended up getting to the bottom of the pile. It was cold. And they stepping and hit me with the helmet and just, I was like, bad mistake. But it was good times, though. Then we went down to the O. Shout out to the O. Originals. Legendary place.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's really legend now. The O doesn't even exist anymore. They got replaced by a taco shop.
What? That is a urban myth, I would say.
Yeah, so I think it's called like Viva Las Tacos or something like that on one half, and on the other side, it's Capriata's sandwich shop. So it's a shame, man. No thanks to the Cody.
Man, destroying businesses. Shout out to
Oh man.
let's go, Brandon, man. Destroying his country. Ah. Well, speaking of that, we're going to go to our sponsors and then we're going to talk about the show. And if you want one of these shirts, definitely go to afjcworldwide.com. Let's go, Brandon. Check this out. Check out one of our sponsors, afjcworldwide.com. That is afjcworldwide.com for our latest apparel, homeware, and drinkware. Definitely get a shirt for your husband, wife, doesn't matter. Again, check out afjcworldwide.com. So what are we getting into today?
Well, we got a little bit going on, man. You know, and I'd like to hear what everybody has to think about these, but can Elon Musk solve world hunger with $6 billion? So, there's been a lot of talk about that, and we'll talk about it. Young people are over Democrats and Republicans. That's like shots fired.
Oh man.
We also have some of you might be interested in that. You know, the Biden administration considering giving $450K to illegal immigrants. And then Dave Chappelle said he's willing to discuss the closer with the T community, but says he's not bending to anybody's demands. Nobody.
That should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. You ready to start the fire, if you will?
Let me just light this fire real quick. But all right, now Elon Musk, okay? He is the richest man in the world. CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, his net worth is more than $100 billion more than the next richest man, Jeff Bezos. And, you know, it's fluctuated as high as 335 billion. Numbers that a lot of people will never see or never dream. Now, for most people in business, we know that at that level, we're talking about net worth by valuation. Okay. But that hasn't stopped the speculators. I mean, the spectators. Because let's be honest, most people aren't willing to take those type of risks or learn the skills to be successful in business. So let's do what everyday Americans do. You guys ever play the Powerball, the Mega Millions, anything like that? Whenever it shoots up, people start dreaming. You know, in fact, close your eyes for a second. You know, if you were to hit, let's say, 800 million, what would you do? Go and buy a new house? Start a business? What about give some money to charity? You know, now, all right, let's get back to reality, guys. Are you doing any of those things now? Because when we shift back to Elon, right? People say it's easy for him to give away money. He's a billionaire, right? Elon can liquidate shares of his company at any time. Valued today at almost $1,200 per share. Don't call me a stock analyst, but I bet there's a split coming up. So keep an eye on that. Don't take my word for it, but it's up to you. But whenever they do that, whenever they sell shares of stock, they lose equity. Look it up. Google's your friend. But that's not important, for Elon Musk. Now, He tweeted in January, right, that he appreciates critical feedback as well as ways to donate money. But he said that really make a difference. And I thought that was definitely, a different thing, right? Why does that matter? Musk is one of those people that wants to know that his money ain't going to be wasted. Musk wants to make sure that it's going to be, a difference made, because there's plenty of money out there in the world, right? So let's fast forward to the end of October 2021. The World Food Bank Program Director David Beasley, he made a claim. 2% of Musk's wealth, it could actually solve world hunger. Pocket watch. Now, Elon, he actually responded. He said, look, I'll sell stocks and give $6 billion if you can describe on this Twitter feed how your organization would solve world hunger. Sounds easy enough, right? Also, he said it must be open source accounts so the public can see precisely how the money is being spent. Elon is setting a mandate. And what it's doing, he's actually exposing one of the bigger problems. You see, everybody always has their hand out, right? Everybody always wants to pocket watch what everyone's doing, right? But no one wants accountability for how it actually happens. So we're going to end up getting into it, right? Because the World Food Organization, remember, they're already getting billions and haven't solved the world hunger problem. So we're going to talk about it, and we're going to bring it to court. I don't got my gavel this week, but we're going to do the street court. What do you think about that, Ron?
Yeah. Had to cough, Can't cough on might get censored if I cough. Oh. Yeah, that's interesting, man, because I'm looking at a country that is trying to give out billions of dollars to immigrants. So my question is, how is what, $6 billion? How is $6 billion going to solve the hunger issues? Should we throw food out all the time? I don't understand. Now, I was looking while you were talking on your monologue. I was looking online at the poorest countries. Like Afghanistan. Wasn't we just there?
Yeah.
Liberia. There's a lot of African countries.
Yeah, and it's really interesting, okay, because and everyone watch it real quick. We gotta stop this. We gotta get those likes up. I know you guys are over here, watching, caught up in the content, but we're working against the YouTube algorithm. So hit the like button before we start up.
Mm-hmm.
I see some. Just a couple more.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, but
I want you to real quick, man. I'm gonna pull this up though. All right, because a lot of them countries that we're talking about is in Africa and around there. Let me pull this up real quick. If you can see this, share. Give me a minute. All right. Let me pull this up. All right, so I'm looking at the top wealthiest billionaires in Africa. Now I don't know how to pronounce some of these names, but as you can see, there's quite a few billionaires in Africa alone. First off, how do you think that if you send $6 billion, it's going to go to the people who need it?
Mm,
You know what I mean?
right.
And my assumption, a lot of these places is the dictators, right?
Yeah. And that's where the problem has been historically, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we look back in most of the communist states, communist places, a lot of those places they were receiving help, but a lot of times there were situations where the food was just sitting there or the resources were just sitting there rotting or going to waste
Mm-hmm.
because whenever you have a system like that, there's a lot of regulation that goes on. There's a lot of wasted time. There's a lot of politics that happen. You
Mm-hmm.
remember whenever they outside of what country was that? I believe it was the Dominican.
Mm-hmm.
But there was stuff that we were sending there,
Mm-hmm.
or actually, I'll do you better. Okay, this is in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Two places. This is in a communist nation. Okay, in fact, three places: New York, California, and Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
Three situations where the help was there for different things that were needed. Puerto
Mm-hmm.
Rico had a couple of different hurricanes. The help was there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that food and aid ended up going to waste due to bad management.
Mm-hmm.
New York, the help was there. They sent a ship out there, like a medical ship.
Mm-hmm.
It sat there and no one went on board.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, people in New York were just dying during the COVID situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we go to California, which we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but we know that the supply chain stuff is going on. And there are multiple reasons in regards to it. But on the last leg of it, the failures happen because of these regulations that they have in place.
Now, I know we're not talking about America, are we? Because I think when you look at poorest people here, a lot of us is not poor. Like when we're averaging, the poor people average like two cars in a household. um, if you go to Africa and you weigh a certain amount over what they weigh, they think you're rich. You know, I don't think poor people have central air.
Mm,
And cars and different. We're able to eat here. I think America do a good job with that. If not in the summertime, they do free lunches. Um, a lot of times in these neighborhoods, when they're out of school, they'll still have them. Like at least down here where I'm at, South Georgia, a lot of kids was able to go to the school and eat during the pandemic. They made sure they gave food out. You
well,
know.
it was interesting. I remember there was a lot of talk about the 1%.
Hmm.
And to be honest, most of us are the 1% in the world.
Yep.
As far as in the world, if you earn over $34,000 annually, you are considered in the top 1% of income earners in the entire world. Let that sink in.
Hmm. Now, I was looking on this screen. If you can see it, I'm gonna kind of make it a little bigger. But now, one of these are the top 10 poorest countries. Now, one of them is Somalia, right?
Mhm.
Do you remember what happened in Somalia in '93?
Mm.
They did a whole movie on it, Black Hawk Down. You remember how they tried to help the people? They had food and resources for them, and the people in Somalia shot the helicopter down and killed those guys.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, I just you can't help everybody. I mean, we can do the best we can, but I just don't agree with the 6 billion giving it to a poor country. I don't know, man. You got
Well,
to like
let's
you
look
said.
at this, about that. One thing is that whenever someone has something, someone's always looking at what you have and
Mhm.
looking to try to dictate what you do with what you have. And it doesn't have to do with billions or millions. You could be earning, couple thousand a month, and you go and get that new car, and someone wants to tell you what to do with what you have. And
Mhm.
the fact of the matter is that it comes down to the management of it, which I think that's Elon Musk's point. I've been following him, right?
Mhm.
And usually most people who are rich, they're really good with philanthropy. That this guy has been a little bit different. And what I've noticed is that he's actually held back a lot because he has two missions for what he wants his money to help. He has a goal, he has a plan. His two missions are Earth and Mars, which it sounds crazy, but for him to be able to populate a city up there, he knows that it's going to cost a whole lot of more of money, probably more than what he has available right now. And he's not willing to sacrifice that dream unless there's good reasoning, for it. So just think about, for the people who are saying like, well, he has billions, he needs to give, and that's fine. But anytime you see a person out there with one of those signs saying, I'm homeless, can you donate something? Do you give something every single time to every single one of them that you see? Because most people, if they're being honest, the answer is no, because they want to know that that money isn't going to go to waste. They want to know that that seed is going to have a place to grow. What was you about to say, Ron?
No, I was just scratching. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, but we do it all the time. We
Mhm.
want to know that we're not going to waste what we're actually doing. Now, I seen something interesting also, okay? Because the World Food Federation, they're good with pocket watching. And I saw something in 2019, and they were looking at the income of Americans. They were saying that if every American donated $6 a month, we would be able to eliminate world hunger. So, for those of us who are looking at Elon Musk and his 2%, we actually have the ability, if we really wanted to or really trusted them, to donate way less than 2% and make that happen. And in the process, if you want to say, I want to, stick it to that guy, don't buy a Tesla. You know, don't support any of his stuff.
Well, here's the thing. There's not too many people could buy a Tesla anyway, so he
Uh,
goes to a certain market.
well, a Tesla's not. I mean, on the cheaper end, they're about $30,000, but they do have a wide range. They have a high ceiling. So,
They're not for the average person with the unless you live in beyond your means. But okay. So I do agree with what Elon Musk is saying. If let me know where that money going. I want receipts because that's how corruption happened. You know, we still have yet to see, and we're not saying anything about Van Jones. He got $100 million.
hmm.
Who's talking about that? What is he doing? He must didn't he step down from he got his feet up in the sand with his white bunny.
And where the white women at?
No one hear anything about him. You know, I'm not defending a billionaire. I'm not. That it is what it is. But I do agree with him though. But I mean, there's nothing you could do. You can't control wealthy people. You could say whatever you want. You could try to shame them. They'll just move to another planet. They'll move to another country. They don't need you. You can't do nothing about it.
Mm,
Like the government works for us, and they pretty much work for the elites because the elites is giving all the money. All the tax money is coming from them. You know, they control the world. They're I look at billionaires like how owners are in the NFL, NBA, etc. Roger Goodell don't run it. He runs it, but he works for the owners. You know what I mean?
right.
The billionaires work. I mean, the government pretty much work for those billionaires, man. That's what they do. You know, they get off. They could shut this whole country down because they own everything. They can say, "All right, well, guess what? Your election's coming up, so I'm gonna just move my stuff to China. I'm gonna move all my stuff. I'm gonna move out this state, and I'm gonna tell all my billionaire buddies to move out of New York, and y'all gonna go bankrupt. Try me." That's how much power they have.
Hmm.
Much as we hate it, they have a lot of power. They have a lot of political power. Um, I mean, you see, like I think it was last year, a lot of billionaires moved to Florida, and that they take a hit, man. Companies moving, because they have to accumulate these tax dollars, you know. So you got to kind of tiptoe around when you're talking to the billionaires. But like I said, if they really come up with a plan and have receipts, hold them to the fire. You
Hmm.
know, come up with your plan. Because most people who have these plans, it never work anyway. Like this stuff would never been done before. Like we can't cure everything. You know what I mean? So because you're dealing with people. But I would like to see it. I would like to see if they come up with a good plan and see if it works. 6 billion is not going to hurt them. And he's like the wealthiest person in the world right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I hope they do. I hope they try to come up with a plan and put his foot to the fire. But he's beyond. No one could do nothing, touch him right now. Like money is power, man.
Right. And I think that it speaks to a good lesson, and like Ron said, we're not defending the billionaire. He's going to do whatever he wants to do with his money. But the principle behind it is definitely huge. This is something that you should do with your own money if you're watching. Anytime someone's asking for your money, if it's not for something that you need, you need to ask what's the plan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you just want to, I'm not saying that I'm against people just giving money just to give it, because if you choose to do that, then that's completely up to you. But outside of that, you need to know what's the plan. It doesn't matter if it's someone who's trying to make a business move, a friend, one of your kids, or whoever. You need to know what is the plan. Otherwise, as you go up that ladder, you're going to have more and more people with their hands out.
I mean, look at America, man. We have a Senate. We have 3 branches of government, and they have free money. They call it free, but it's not free, and they don't even know what to do with it. They fighting over trillions.
Hmm.
And what is it solving when they use this? Because they're using money. It's not solving anything. And then we only have what 300 and 30 million people here. And they couldn't do nothing with trillions of dollars. What 3 trillion? The last I don't
That
even
that
know.
brings a great point, right? So if that's the case, yeah, we know that they've been printing up money. This is how you expose that stuff is nonsense. They're just talking to try to take stuff out of people's pocket. All right. Whenever the government prints money, they don't really have money, but they end up doing it, devalues your dollars. Okay, we get that. But if the U.S. was really concerned about that, why didn't they just add that in on one of their little bills where they're like trying to pack in things like to support a museum or
Mhm.
all these, little things.
Yep.
Right now, the United States covers about half of the donations going to the World Food Bank program. I think about 3.5 billion. So why not just send one of those bills instead of having something that's usually some liberal arts type thing? Why not just replace it with that? Now, I don't necessarily think that, but it just shows the foolishness and the baloney that these organizations are going from.
Bruh, the people are ignorant. We waste in America alone. We waste so much food. Like all those billion, everybody that have a house have a bunch of food in their refrigerator, bunch of perishables that they're not going to give away. We hoard stuff. So this is bull crap. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not going to solve it with $6 billion. Who's to say whoever this guy is that you spoke of earlier knows anything about economics in the first place? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you don't know 6 billion is going to solve hunger. You don't. You what you need to do, and I mean I can't speak for a lot of these countries, but these people need to have skills to fend for themselves. You know, like you need to start an infrastructure, like start businesses and do the barter system. You know, I mean, like I said, I can't speak for Somalia and all them places, but realistically, like we got to focus on America.
Right.
You know what I mean? We have a problem here with the I don't want to go off too far of a subject, but with immigration and everything else like that, African Americans have issues. We're complaining about the school system. We're complaining about the mandates. We can't worry about all that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we got
Right.
to worry about these elections. So I feel for them. I mean, a lot of people trying to come over here, but like those is corrupt governments. Why they're like that? Because I looked at the in Africa, there's a lot of billionaires there that look like us, look like the people that's starving. You know, you got Asia places there like North Korea. I heard not to throw it off the subject. Did you hear what's that thing that show called Squid Games? Is that what's called on Netflix?
Yeah.
Did you tell me that it was like based off of like North Korea or something or China? Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's a North Korean I don't know whether to say show or series. Yep.
Yeah, but someone took offense of it, like another country in Asia. I don't know. I have to look it up, but I think they're beefing or something because they're saying because you know how all them people dying.
Well, let me just rephrase that. It's not North Korea. I believe it's South Korea. They just say Korea because they're on the show. There's someone from North Korea on there, but yeah,
Did the president take offense to that, or the person who runs Korea?
I'm not sure.
I
Um,
heard that before. We
mm,
won't go off topic. We'll talk about that another time, I guess. But yeah, speaking of helping people, man, what's up with this Biden administration considering giving 450K to illegal immigrants?
wow.
Now, this is where the outrage should be. I don't hear no one talking about this. Maybe I'm not like paying attention, but the Democrats, like, is it just the what's the group that want the reparations? FBA? What is it? There's two different groups. There's Fundamental Black Americans by Tariq Nasheed, right? And then
Mm,
there's the A. What's the other group?
uh,
A
ADOS.
ADOS. Now I need to see. I'm gonna have to. Maybe we can find a video and see if they're talking about this. Maybe we could try to find something. Where is the outrage? If
Mm,
they're going to give, oh man, us as Americans try to do stuff so elite, like I mean, not illegal, legal. We do everything legally, and we've been asking for reparations for 400 years because it was. They said they was gonna give it to us. You know what I mean? They was gonna give us the 48 acres and a mule. They gave reparations to Japanese people who, after Hiroshima. They gave reparations to some Native Americans, and they just ignored African Americans. I'm like, where is the outrage here? These people are illegal, and they come over here. Now, it's just interesting because if I'm just going to use the African American, but we can use anybody, any American who gets pulled over by the police, and they got kids in the car, and they get arrested. What do? They separate them, don't they?
Right. Yep.
And they put them all through this distress, even if this guy is innocent. What I'm saying is, man, African Americans need attorneys, man, because there's a lot of stuff that the government can't do, but they'll try to do it because they know you're not going to have an attorney. You know, these are attorneys doing this. So if attorneys can sit there and sue the government, and they may get a settlement, we need to start throwing lawsuits out here. We got to stop trying to, pressure them to do it through the polls, and because we're not even stopping their vote. Maybe we just stop voting and let them lose, and maybe you'll get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just something has to give, but I want to see the outrage. Do you see any video out here if anybody talking about this?
I've been looking for it, and other than maybe on Fox, that's about all I'm seeing.
Wait, let's go to the ADOS website, man. I mean, YouTube, and see what they talk. They got to be saying something. Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna see what I gotta find. You said ADOS.
Hey.
All right, what's that girl's name? What is her name that run it? Yvette Carnell. Find Yvette Carnell and see if she's saying anything about this, because this is ridiculous. And another thing with that, like, you can't be a rebel. You can't be a rebel when you're trying to get things done. These people have to be connected with the politicians. You know what I mean? Like, even like with Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed, man, he's not connected to anything. Any politicians. How you expect it? Like, if you're talking about you want to get reparations done, you have no political connection. You know what I mean? It pays to play.
Right. And you know what? I think at the end of the day, what they're showing, just like when Malcolm X said, he said these people are political chumps. Every 4 years, they want to come, talking about what we're going to do, this and that. Every 4 years, they want to worry about you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to you, Black people who are watching. Every 4 years, that year before the presidential election, that's when the Democrats want to have all their messages of what they're going to do. And it's all the same old. And you go and you look at the statistics: crime, poverty, out of wedlock, childbirth, marriage rates, all those things. The numbers are not very good in Democrat-run cities, and it wouldn't be so bad. Okay, it's not really just so much about the Democrats, but the fact that the Black Americans are beholden to them. To the point, it's almost like a cult.
Yeah. Almost like a cult. You mean it is a cult?
Yeah. You got people that'll say, hey, when I was a kid, I was told to vote Democrat. And you say, like, why'd they tell you that? No one thinks about these things. They just go on through their life, actually, doing the same things. and end up getting the same results. They might pick a couple of you, but for the most part, it's the same. I have. Let me just put this
Hold on,
on the
real
screen.
quick before you go on, because I found something. Before you, what do you have? Do you have her website? Because I have the video. She's
Well,
talking about it.
I'm gonna just share a quick tweet that she had put out there,
All right.
and you can put the video up right after. But she said, "What does it say that our government is prepared to give non-citizens 450K for separating them at the border, while our best economists, she has best in quotations, have ADOS, which is African descendants of slaves, receiving only 800K for 400 years spent oppressed building the country. It means academics have vastly underestimated what we're owed."
Where's
So,
Roland? Where's Roland Martin? I thought he was for the black community. Are we serious?
hmm.
Where's Al Sharpton? Look on if you can. I'm gonna play this video, but look on and see if you see anything with Roland Martin saying anything on his show or something. Like, what is going on here? All right, I'm gonna pull this up real quick.
Tiffany little stupid show that she got big and it's so hard. Give me a show. What story we can build on the ADOS movement. They've been talking about reparations, right? Yeah. They've been talking. Well, we will call it reparations since there's an impetus for reparations right now. We will call it that. And then once we get around to it, since they filed a lawsuit, we'll do a little switcheroo and we'll say, no, it's not reparations, it's a lawsuit. It's not reparations, it's a lawsuit. That's why you can't have people like Roland Martin leading anything. Because let me tell you, it was him and it was the woman with the oblong face. OBLONG. I don't mean to disrespect nobody. I know I have a light bulb head. That's fine. But she has an oblong face. And I don't know what her name is, so I'm just gonna call her the woman with the oblong face. She came out and said, well, you see, you don't understand that well, you don't know what it is. It's a lawsuit. Wait a minute. All of y'all are saying it's a lawsuit and it's not reparations. So what does that mean, fam? Tell me. I want y'all to tell me because you understand. I know y'all know what it means, but tell me what it means. When all of these Negroes start coming out and saying the same thing, what does it mean? It means all of y'all have received talking points from somebody. Who sent y'all all these talking points? Somebody has told y'all, can you go out and tell the Negroes? Roland, we might give you some ad money. You want that ad money, right, Roland? You've been running around here and talking about how your new black whatever media ain't getting no ad money. Roland, if you run outside real fast and say, it's a lawsuit. It's not reparations. They might give you some ad money, Roland. Go run. Step it and fetch it, Roland. Now, let me see if I can bring up this article because I want to bring it up. I want to bring it back for just a second. For people who don't know or you haven't seen what's been happening, right? For those of you who haven't seen what I know some people don't know, get your libation. You're gonna need your libations. Green tea. It's too late for green tea if you're around here, unless you're in like I know I got people in like New Zealand and South Africa. But if you might need some of that sleepy time tea. You might want to go to bed. U.S. in talks to pay hundreds of millions to families separated at the border.
Mm.
I mean, we've been separated since slavery, and we've tried to file lawsuits, and we've been denied. For the most part, we have a hit or miss here or there, but that's not enough to make up for what we've experienced, has it? But let me just get into this a bit. stand the ACLU, honestly. The American Civil Liberties Union, which represents families in one of the lawsuits, has identified about 5,500 children separated at the border over the course of the Trump administration, citing figures provided to it by the government. The number of families eligible under the potential settlement is expected to be smaller. The people said, as government officials aren't sure how many will come forward. Around 940 claims have been filed. Yeah, of course you aren't sure how many gonna come forward.
And you know a lot of them. Hold on, let me pull up. But you know a lot of them was extorting and stealing babies and stealing kids over here to come over here. They have a lot of what do you call that term?
The trafficking.
Trafficking.
Yeah.
A lot of them were doing drug trafficking and people trafficking, and they're coming over here pretending um that they're family to get over here.
Well, hey, I have some good news. Okay, you had asked for me to find, some stuff in relation to Roland Martin and the 450,000. I scoured over all of Al Gore's internets, and I was able to find it.
Mm-hmm.
So, get ready for this, you guys. Your minds are about to be blown. We're going to just make this big for a second. I found it. It says, it looks like there aren't any great matches for your search.
Wow.
I go through this and not much there with, nothing there with Roland Martin. Now, because I found something else, okay? Because I know some of y'all lost hope for a second. Y'all were like, man, he didn't find nothing. But let's look at Roland Martin. Because remember, this is the guy, he always wants to talk about history. He wants to talk about 1969 when we were marching. So I was looking through here, okay? I see on here, January 6th, Harvard University living conditions, redistricting, Jaylani Day. We have on here, music. Oh man, there's a good one. Roland lectures on social media at Fisk University. Look at his Houston Astros shirt. Let's see. Remarks on legislative agenda from Biden. Let's see. Okay. We got the 88 million Emmanuel. I think that's the church settlement. No, what I'm finding out, guys, is that the truth is that it's not on here.
Wow.
At all.
And he has a platform.
Right.
Wow.
So these are your so-called leaders.
That is something else, man. That is something else.
Yeah.
Can you pull up that article? And this hopefully they say this on there, but can you pull up the article about the young people over they're over the Democrats and the Republicans?
Yep. Give me one second.
Yeah, but they're a joke, man. That's why you can't take none of this stuff seriously, man. This is why, I am a individualist, not a tribal, because no one's talking about this stuff, man. Biden is failing at an all-time high. The Democratic Party they have the House and the Senate, and they can't get nothing done within themselves. And a good media outlet would talk about that. They're just silent. That's why nobody watching CNN. There's nobody watching ESPN and MSNBC. We like to say MSNBC hee-haw, because they're all Democrats, and they're just protecting each other. And it's just sad because we're not getting the truth. Let's see
Let me
here.
just add this on here. I found the article. Put this up 1 second. All right. If you could put that on the big screen. So, when we look on here, it's there we go. Talked about the turnout of voters. The young voters 18 to 29. It fell by nearly half, for that recall in
Mhm.
California to try to get rid of the current governor by half. Like these kids, they're not even really engaged. They're not going out to vote. And now we know that the overall numbers for the recall would be, a whole lot lower than the presidential, but that's a huge drop off there.
Mhm.
And it says a lot about how these young people think about these politicians. Because keep in mind that a lot of times when you're younger, right, you might be more risk adverse or not really thinking about consequences. And a lot of young people may have a bent towards liberal living,
Mhm.
liberal politics, liberal spending, liberal eating. That was the time that you could eat the most food in your life while you were younger, right?
Mhm.
And typically those people, as they get older, they usually get a little bit more conservative in the way that they do things. And for them to actually have a drop off that big at that age, it says that they're not happy with what's going on.
Mhm.
There's too much information out today, for people. You can't hit people with the same okey doke that you've been hitting them with for, years.
Right. And that just goes to show you that the media can't stop this train because 90% of the media, I would say 99 actually, are Democrats, and they're controlling the narrative. But they forgot one thing, that these kids don't look at TV. You know what I'm saying? They're on their phones. The average person that watch YouTube probably watch 200 channels in a month, and then they're watching 5 minute clips. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, so I'm excited about this, man, because the midterm election is coming up, and if you turn on any network, they're talking about Trump still. They're like, well, Trump is the reason why, but nobody's buying it. You have three branches of government, and you can't get it done. You know what I mean? You can't. These old people can't fool these young people, and I'm excited for it because the midterm election is coming,
Mm. And
and they're gonna have a lower turnout. And but this is what they're gonna do. Trust me. This happened before. Let's look back in 19 in the 90s,
mm,
right? Uh, you had Bill Clinton there, and then everybody was excited about Gore. And you remember that election happened when they had to do a recount, and they felt like they got cheated, right? So people start giving up on the government. Then we went to war, and then they go there and they find out there's no weapons of mass destruction. So they thought, okay, well, Bush is going to lose in 2004. Everybody was riding around Curry. Um, it was vote or die. You remember that with
yeah,
you
did he?
remember that? Did
Yep.
he? He was out there pushing it. He was on 106 in Park because we were the young people then. We were that age group, and we
Mm.
were so excited, and we're out there. Everybody, all the African Americans voted for Curry, and he loses. Then they lost faith. They said, "Well, it don't matter. We're not going to vote." Right? What they did was because they're really strategic in their strategy. It's like we got to get these black people excited. because they like symbolism. Let's find a black person that can run. Jesse Jackson can't do it. He tried in '88. Oh, let's try this guy in Chicago. Obama came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, he's yes, we can. Then he had 8 years to do something, but he never said he was going to do something for black people at all. And but
Mm.
people, we're taught to defend black people. Don't tell black people's business outside of the community. So they're attacking people who's talking about them, right? The reason why Trump was in office is because Obama did a bad job. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
So now they talk Biden into doing it because he's old and he's going to do whatever they tell him to do because he's senile and dementia and all that good stuff. So he got puppet strings on him. You don't know what's going on. He's falling asleep at the G20 summit. He's falling up the steps and you don't know what's going on. Every time he's talking on an interview, he's either yelling at somebody if they're black, he's yelling at them. If if he's not, he's just oh, I'm gonna get in trouble if I keep talking. I gotta go. Like, who are you talking to? Like, who are you looking at? Like, who's running this country? So anyway, so the midterm election is doing bad. I mean, it's going to go bad for them. But what they're going to do, because this is what they did. This is what they did the last election. Black people didn't ask for nothing except for they wanted a black woman that represented them in the White House. So they gave it to them. They had a couple other candidates. They had the one candidate in Atlanta. I forgot her name. The chubby girl. I don't remember her name with the natural hair.
Stacy.
Yeah, she was part of the running, being vice president,
Mm-hmm.
and they picked this dodo, the clown, Kamala. It's funny, she's African American, but she ain't saying a word. I forgot she was a vice president. But this is what they're going to do. They're going to try to get through this midterm election, which I don't think they will because the economy's so bad. They're doing mandates, people losing their jobs. They're not voting for them. And again, I don't believe it. But then they're going to have her run and say she's the first black woman president. We got to get off this symbolism stuff because they ain't going to do nothing for you.
Mm.
They're going to say we got to do it because if they get in, because Trump going to run again, and we need the black woman to fight. First off, for anybody to say that a woman's going to save us is the problem. Why would you have a woman save a man? You know what I'm saying? Like, if anything, why don't you pick a black man to be president?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they got all these women, like the girl you was talking about just now, Abrams and Bottoms over here in Atlanta, which in Atlanta they don't like her anymore, man. She don't know what she's doing. When she start getting under pressure, she start talking, oh, can we all just get along? That like, they're laughing at her, man. Like when she brought T, she tried to bring Ti out here and Killer Mike, and they're like, man, get out of here, man. Move out the way. But this is what they're going to do. They're going to try to use symbolism to shut you up, and then they're going to try to go to the younger group and say, well, they're racist.
Right. It's the typical playbook. Been being used for years. Don't go over there. They're racist.
So here's the thing. According to the article you was reading, was it the gingers? I like to say that. The voters more likely than any other generation to support Democrat candidates, according to Pew, are also now the voters most likely to say they no longer support the job performance of President Joe Biden and the other establishments in the Democratic leaders.
Mm.
Now, it talks about California turnout. Democrats may be suffering due to the young progressive frustration over the pace of progress and fulfilling Biden's campaign promises on social programs and climate change. Now that is a problem, I would say, because a lot of these voters, um, it's not even the Republicans, right? It's the progressives, because Bernie Sanders talked his base into following him after, even despite he got cheated twice by the Democrats. Cheated. Nobody even talk about this. You remember in 2016 they cheated him, and those reports came out that Roland Martin had. Remember he was giving out the questions. Him and the other lady who stepped down. I forgot her name, but she stepped down because they were giving the questions to Hillary so she can prepare,
Yep.
and they didn't give it to Biden. I mean to Bernie, but Bernie ain't say nothing. He just took it on the chin.
Mm.
So I agree with this, and also this is the whole reason, because of that senator in New York in that little group. This is why they're at a standstill when it comes to this bill.
Yeah.
It's
I
the
mean,
progressives.
yeah. So they want to pack all that stuff in there for the the environmental stuff.
Hmm.
Um, not the world hunger. Keep that in mind. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, they want to put all of that in, and what they're
Hmm.
looking to do is to pretty much transform the country. The wording they use is to reimagine it, and that reimagination, it may not include you where you are.
Hmm.
A lot of people think that they're safe, but just like with we're kind of in the real life Squid Games,
Hmm.
so to say. There's different choices that we make, but at the end of the day, it may not kill you immediately, but they will kill you softly over time.
Hmm. And I just don't think anybody from San Francisco or California should lead. And so right now, their young voters are also dissatisfied with leaders, um, like Nancy Pelosi. She's a San Francisco native. Also painted for decades of conservatives
She
as
100
too liberal.
Yeah, man. I mean, she's been around forever.
Hmm. Looking like Skeletor.
She's older than Biden, right?
She older. She's like a super soldier. She older than Captain America. Um, Let me see. Yeah, they're about the same. Yeah, they probably went to school together. They painted. They got their picture painted for their first day of school. Somebody had to draw them. They old, man. She was there. She's like the Watchers, man. She was there when Kennedy got killed. Probably. She's watching.
Man.
Ain't do nothing about it. The Watchers.
Oh man.
She was there. No, she wasn't there, but I know she took a picture with Kennedy. That's when you know that you're old. She took a picture with John Kennedy.
Mm.
Man. Yep. So let me see. Yes, I just think again to reiterate, they're in trouble because them progressives are not playing. They're like, look, we're not being. First off, we was quiet. We helped you win because we unified, and you ain't giving us nothing. Which I'm happy they ain't giving them no. Man, progressives is so off the wall, man.
Man.
The moderates is not going to do that. They know that would ruin the country if they did the stuff that they asked for.
Right. Well, I mean, it's always interesting because the way that they think, the progressives, is that they say we want everybody to have a chance or everyone to do well. But I think that in the attempt to be able to create a safety net, they're looking to bring as many people down to the floor as possible also,
Right.
except for themselves.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, man. But before we end up in the show, man, anything you want to leave with?
I would say this, for anyone watching, it the stuff we're talking about, the economics of everything, the politics of it, it's all related to what you and the businesses around you do. And we're in the middle of a time of famine. It's a rough time. They're talking about shortages on the shelves and things like that. But just think about when things go into getting good and there's plenty again. That's when you need to think about what you're going to do in these bad times. So just wanted to offer that out there, because a lot of people have been doing dumb stuff, including myself. But whenever it goes down, you don't want to rely or blame it on the government, because the government, at this point, this administration would rather give your money to people who have come over here illegally. Illegally.
That's right.
500,000. So just keep that in mind. And, that's pretty much all that I had to say.
If you want to support afjcworldwide.com, definitely go get your shirts. Let's go.
Hold on,
Brandon.
We want to see that a little bit better. Let me just move the which one is
Anna.
There it is. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, get your Let's Go Brandon shirts. Let's go. Let's go, Brandon. Let's change this the course of this country. And I'll play this video real quick with our sponsors. Check out one of our sponsors, afjcworldwide.com. That is afjcworldwide.com for our latest apparel, homeware, and drinkware. Definitely get a shirt for your husband, wife, doesn't matter. Again, check out afjcworldwide.com. And also, I want to leave you with this. I mean, we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but, comedians is the last stand. We have to protect our freedoms, man, protect our freedom of speech. And we have to support our comedians, because they're the ones who's out here fighting the fight. A lot of us can't say anything. A lot of people's losing their careers because of what they say. A lot of people's even scared to go on the platform and talk the way they want to talk, because they're scared of losing their income. So I want to play this clip with Dave Chappelle when he talked about getting canceled. Check this out.
This film that I made was invited to every film festival in the United States, and some of those invitations I accepted. And when this controversy came out about the closer, they began disinviting me from these film festivals. And now, today, not a film company, not a movie studio, not a film festival, nobody will touch this film. Thank God for Ted Sarandos at Netflix. He's the only one that didn't cancel me yet. To the transgender community, I am more than willing to give you an audience, but you will not summon me. I am not bending to anybody's demand. I desperately want people to see this movie, but I understand why investors would be nervous. Since nobody will touch it, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will make it available for all of you in 10 American cities, going on sale in the next few days. You will be able to see this movie in its entirety, and you can see what they're trying to obstruct you from seeing. And you can judge for yourself, but you cannot have this conversation and exclude my voice from it. That is only fair. You have to answer the question, am I canceled or not? Then let's go. Thank you very much, and good night.
And what I liked about that clip is looking in that crowd. That's American right there. You had black people there, you had white people there, and they all was on that same mission. We need to fight back. Subscribe to the channel, share this channel. We have to support media like this, because we are bombarded with CNN and NBC saying the same message. Support the channel. We appreciate all the people who supported and gave us super chats and what have you. But we definitely give us donate to TNJ Radio if you want to continue this movement that we're doing. All
Yeah.
right. And also we coming soon we're going to have some discounts on our shirts and apparel. But it's a limited number, so you got to get them while they're hot. All right. And with that, we're out.